So, what happens when the world around you literally turns cold? We're about to dive into this incredible story of human endurance, one that's pulled from the historical accounts of a small colony that faced a winter so harsh it became the stuff of legend. Let's explore how they managed to find warmth when there was almost none to be found.
You can almost feel that in your bones, can't you? Whispered warnings? That's not just a weather report, that's setting the stage for a serious struggle. This wasn't just some cold front rolling in. For the people of Nuevo Ideal, this was the beginning of a test that would challenge the very core of who they were.
All right, so the first real test, it came fast, and it pushed them to their absolute limits right from the get-go. You know, it's often the small things that can break you, isn't it? This wasn't some big single disaster. It was this relentless daily grind. Imagine waking up every single morning and your water is a solid block of ice. Your animals are shivering miserably. Even a simple comfort like baking bread is impossible because the dough just won't rise. The cold was attacking the very rhythm of their day-to-day lives. And yet, amidst all of that grinding, daily misery, we get this incredible detail. Just think about that for a second. Not a single person complained out loud. This is the moment you realize this isn't just a story about surviving. It's about a very specific, very deep kind of strength. So instead of breaking down, they did the opposite. They doubled down. They didn't fight the cold with more firewood, they fought it with more structure. Prayer, work, song. These weren't just things to pass the time. They were deliberately reinforcing who they were, reminding themselves that the cold could not take away their character. Now that is a powerful idea. But the cold, that was just the first wave. Soon, the relentless hardship brought something else with it, sickness. And with sickness came loss, which would test their silent strength in a whole new way. And just like that, the human cost becomes terrifyingly real. An elder Tobias Braun just dies in his sleep. The source material states it so plainly, and that quietness, it just makes it feel even heavier. And the blows just keep on coming. A moment that should be about new life is instantly shadowed by loss. The account doesn't give you time to breathe between these tragedies, and you get the sense the community didn't have time either. They were just carrying this immense, growing weight together. So how do you possibly grieve in a world this hard? Well, not with loud wailing, but with quiet ritual. A burial under the pines, a simple wooden cross, a shared meal of just bread and broth, and then a song. It was just another one of their rhythms, a structured, communal way to process the unbearable together. Now, just when you think things cannot possibly get any worse, they do. A house fire. This really could have been the final straw, the thing that broke their spirit completely. But instead, it became the moment that revealed everything about who they truly were. I mean, just try to imagine this. You're in the dead of this brutal winter, and you lose it all. Not just your possessions, but your shelter, your warmth, your food, everything. It's a complete and total wipeout. But then, look at what happened next. It was immediate. For everything that was lost, something was given back. Quilts just appear from neighbors. Food arrives from every single home. And by morning, the men are already out there rebuilding the roof. This wasn't a committee meeting. It was a reflex. It was pure instinctual community. And there's that theme again, right? The silence. Help was given without a single word being exchanged. And thanks were returned not with words, but with an action, leaving bread on doorsteps. They were communicating on a completely different level. Their actions were their language, and everyone was fluent. So their community provided the physical warmth they needed to survive. But they needed something more to survive the inner cold, the darkness, and they found it in a pretty unlikely place, on the walls of the schoolhouse. The teacher, a man named Peter Unruh, he has this incredibly simple yet brilliant idea. Let's cover the walls in words. And the first one he chose, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation. I mean, that wasn't homework. That was a direct instruction for how to endure. And the walls just kept filling up. This next verse from Psalms was another direct reminder. You are not alone in this. There is a refuge here. There is strength to be found. You can just picture it, can't you? With every verse written in charcoal, the building itself was being transformed. It wasn't just a cold schoolhouse anymore. It was becoming a sanctuary. They were literally insulating themselves with words of hope, creating their own inner warmth. And when someone asked the teacher why he did it, His explanation was as simple as it was profound. They weren't trying to escape the cold. They were generating their own heat, right there on the inside, to endure it. Now we come to what is, for me, the real emotional heart of this entire account. It's this moment of profound clarity, and it's seen through the eyes of a young girl named Alina Friesen. So the story brings us to this one quiet evening. Picture this young girl, Elena, standing at the edge of the colony. She's just watching the candlelight flicker in the windows and the smoke rising from the chimneys into the vast, frozen night. And in that quiet moment, she has this powerful realization. It's the core truth of the entire story. Just surviving would have been enough, right? But Alina saw the real miracle wasn't that they were still alive. It was how they were alive. With kindness. When spring finally came, the frost began to melt, and the people who emerged from that winter were changed. They were tired, yes. They were hungry, of course, but they were not broken. That winter had forged them into something stronger, more grateful, and more connected to each other than they had ever been before. So the story of Nuevo Ideal leaves us with this one big question. They found their warmth in their routines, in their quiet empathy, and in their shared faith. And it makes you wonder, in your own life, when the world turns cold, where will you find your warmth?